I have a sneaking suspicion that most of us want to sound smarter than we actually are, whether it's for our jobs, school, or just to impress someone. Having a few smart-sounding words at the tip of your tongue can be a useful thing to have. So, today, I am gone. Now teach you 33 words that will make you sound smarter than you are. Part 1. Ephemeral. This is a fancy word for something that is lasting for a very short time. For example, the beauty of a flower is ephemeral. It only lasts for a few days. Ubiquitous. This word means present, appearing, or found everywhere. For example, smartphones have become ubiquitous in the 21st century. Juxtapose. To juxtapose is to place two things close together so that they can be compared. For example, the author juxtaposes the happy couple with a crying child to evoke pity. Incisive. This word describes something or someone that is intelligently analytical and clear. For example, her incisive comments made her seem much smarter than the other candidates. Nuance. A nuance is a subtle difference in meaning, or a slight variation in tone. For example, he understood the nuances of the language after living there for many years. Serendipity. Serendipity is the occurrence and development of events by chance in a happy or beneficial way. For example, the discovery of penicillin was pure serendipity. Eclectic. Something that is eclectic is made up of parts from a variety of sources. For example, her eclectic style is a mix of vintage and modern pieces. Perspicacious. This word describes someone who is clever and has a good insight into people or situations. For example, she was a perspicacious observer of human nature. Exacerbate. To exacerbate is to make a situation or problem worse. For example, the drought exacerbated the water shortage. Coherent. Coherent means clear and logical. For example, he presented a coherent argument in support of his proposal. Taciturn. Taciturn means tending to be silent. Uncommunicative. For example, he was a taciturn man who rarely spoke about himself. Decadence. Decadence is excessive indulgence in something considered to be harmful or unhealthy. For example, the decadence of the ruling class led to the fall of the empire. Effervescent. Effervescent means lively and enthusiastic. For example, she had an effervescent personality that was infectious. Evanescent. Evanescent means quickly fading or disappearing. For example, the sunset was evanescent, lasting only a few moments. Did you understand all of those? If not, don't worry. I am gone. Teach you the rest of the words in part 2. And also, at the end of this video, I'm gonna give you a quick quiz to see how many you remember. For now, let's continue. Capricious. Capricious means given to sudden and unaccountable changes of mood or behavior. For example, the stock market is notoriously capricious. Fallible. Fallible means inclined to make mistakes or be wrong. For example, humans are fallible creatures. Fortuitous. Fortuitous means happening by accident or chance, rather than design. For example, it was a fortuitous meeting that led to the new business deal. Gregarious. Gregarious means fond of company, sociable. For example, she was a gregarious person who enjoyed parties and social events. Heretofore. Heretofore means up to this time or until now. For example, heretofore unknown. Iconoclastic. Iconoclastic means attacking cherished beliefs or traditions. For example, his iconoclastic views made him unpopular with the religious leaders. Idiosyncratic. Idiosyncratic means relating to or characterized by a peculiar behavior or way of doing things. For example, he had idiosyncratic handwriting that was almost impossible to decipher. For example, her laconic reply left me wondering if she understood my question. Meticulous. Meticulous means showing great attention to detail. For example, he was a meticulous planner, always thinking several steps ahead. To mitigate is to make something less harmful or less unpleasant. For example, the new law will mitigate the worst effects of the disease. Ephemeral. This is a fancy word for something that is lasting for a very short time. For example, the beauty of a flower is ephemeral. It only lasts for a few days. So, these are 33 words that will make you sound smarter than you are. Now it's time for a quick quiz to see how many you remember. Which word means to make something worse? Exacerbate or mitigate. Which word means clear and logical, coherent or capricious? Which word means a slight difference in meaning, nuance or juxtapose? If you got those right, congratulations. You're one step closer to sounding smarter than you are. Thanks for watching. See you next time.